Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and this is probably my last video of Dawn of the Zeds. Situation is pretty promising. Only 2 weak zombie units on the board. I think most of the really bad cards are already gone. Most of these brains cards and that stuff, I think I have them all in the game yet. And they're pretty close to the town, but here are strong civilian units, and same here, so that should not be such a problem. And because of the hospital efficiency, I could heal lots of units at the end of the last video. So yeah, it's looking really good. Infection level is pretty low. It's all fine. Let's draw the next card. And that is a Berserk hero. Immediately select one hero unit in play. For the entire turns, that hero unit receives 2 when attacking and 2 when defending in hand-to-hand fighting. Well, I think that's not a very good idea. I don't think I will fight with any hero. Yeah, okay. I choose Major Hernandez, but I think he will go berserk in the city hall, but no hand-to-hand fighting. And we don't have to consume supplies. No outbreak. Oh yeah, and refugee movement 1. So we have to move here. And that was something we have to do. And because we enter a chaos marker, the infection level goes up by 1. Does it? Not so sure. Got to check that. Yeah, that was actually correct. Okay, and there is no Zeds movement because there are no Zeds in the suburbs. And it says now here, what? Okay, so we have 4 actions now, and well, let's see what we can do now. I think I will assign her to the hospital. That is a movement action. Costs me 1 action point. And then I will do a research action. So the supplies go down 1. And I will roll 2 dice because of her because of her bioengineering PhD. And I got a roll of 5 or 6 to do a successful research action. Yo! And that is a double 6. And that is now something special. If you have a special ability which gives you 2 dice instead of 1, like she does, and if you roll double, then you get the full reward. So in this case, it's not only one. It's not only 1 success, but actually 2 successes, which is awesome, because now this goes up to 7, and this allows me now first to deploy the super weapon. So let me see, somewhere here is the super weapon. Here we go. So this is actually this thing here. Oops. And we can place that now here, and that gives us, when shooting, here, on the gunfire column, when conducting gunfire attacks, also Zeds unit must retreat when they receive 2 or more hits. And in addition, I'm allowed to shift 1 to the right. In hand-to-hand combat, when player units attack Zeds unit during the action phase, I can shift it also one additional column to the right. So this is definitely an advantage. Next thing is now I can place the final component for the antidote. So let's see where that ends up. Okay, now we have to do a fate draw to see where the final component will end up. And this is in the mountains, which is not so good because there are the Zeds. So let's see. So that is the mine. Final component will end up in the mine space. Okay, let's see what that is now. Here we go. That's the final component. And the mines are actually here. Okay. Oh, let's place it like that. And to develop the antidote, which well, I think it's easier to heal. What are the advantages of the antidote, actually? I got to check that. Okay, to be honest, I think the advantages of this antidote are not so massive. Basically, it's easier to heal, which is a good thing if your hospital is not completely empty. But I think that's it. So, but it's hard to get there. You have to go to the mine. You have to pick up the final component, and then you have to go back to the town center, and you have to do a research action, roll a 6, and then you got this final the antidote. In addition to this benefit of easier healing, you have a better victory. So the last part of the story, the epilogue, will be, of course, a greater victory than it would be by just surviving this game. We have here a rescue signal brings supply drop. Hold this card. Play at any time to gain 2 supply points and 2 ammunition points. Wow. That is also great. Well, I think... Oh, why not? Let's keep it for now. Okay, so that was actually my second action during this turn. First one was moving to the laboratory. Second one was rolling here. And now we got 2 more actions. And, well, I could now move first of all with the civilians. Well, maybe here to the suburbs track, and maybe regain control of one of these villages and try to build some barricades there. So they move here. Or maybe it's actually a better idea to... Yeah, I think what I do is I will move with these guys here, with these civilians here, to the gap. And I pay 2 supplies. Oops. And I will build barricades there. I think that is actually a better idea. So these were now my 4 actions, and I will play this rescue signal now. And I'll gain 2 supplies and 2 ammo. Great. So let's draw the next card. smart Zeds. So we got one refugee movement. So they move now here, and that means that the infection level goes up again. We don't have an outbreak, we have to consume supplies. Here we go. And we have Zeds in the suburbs that move, but there are no Zeds, so that's pretty good. And we have 4 actions now. If at the end of the action phase the university space is Zeds controlled, place the smart marker on one random Zeds unit on the suburbs track. Well, so that won't happen, that's for sure. Okay, and well, then I got 4 actions. That is a lot. So I will move now, I think, with these civilians here to the bridge. Maybe with these civilians here. And I got 2 actions left now. And now I'm in the comfortable situation that I'm really not sure what to do. I think I can try to shoot these civilians here. I've got a combat value of 4, and then because I'm a leader it goes up to 5, so I'm at greater than now. And I only need a 3 to hit, and that would kill these civilians. Yep, very good. So they are dead now. And then the ammo goes down here. And now I got 1 action left, and I will move with her. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, and try to remove these chaos markers and bring the infection level down. Okay, fine. So let's see the next card. Disaster at the lab. That is not so good. Okay, no outbreak. No supplies to consume. We have a zombie movement here at the forest. And, well, we got 2 actions. At the beginning of the action phase, roll a die and apply. Okay, let's see what we have. Well, 1 would be perfect, the rest would be not so good. That's a 6, great. Okay, reduce research level by 1 and apply 1 hit to the hero assigned to the laboratory. Well, luckily she just went away. And then the research marker goes down, which is not so terribly bad. The final component is removed, I think. Because the research marker is no longer on 7, but the good thing is we still have our super weapon, so that's not too bad after all. And then we got 2 actions, and what I'll do is I will shoot with these civilians on these zombies. And I will use my ammo to do that. And now I have the super weapon. I forgot that in the fight before. And that gives me then a strength of a combat fighting value of 4 altogether. So let's see. And that is great. That's a 10. Very good. 3 dead zombies. Awesome. That's enough to kill them all. Well, that is great. So I managed to kill all zombies on the board. That's really cool now. Very good. And because, well, many of these very bad cards are gone. I had them all in the middle of the game where it was really close. So maybe I just have to draw cards, and I'm not sure if there will be more going on. And let's see, we have now 2 actions. So I move here to the refugees marker on this one here, and I remove that chaos marker, and the infection level goes down by 2. And because she keeps this, the infection level now very low, there is also little chance that there will be an outbreak. So it looks good that we don't get any more zombies on the board. Let's see what the next card brings. Research Discovery. We have a refugee movement of 1. So it's now these guys. They go here. No outbreak, no supplies to consume, no zombie movement. Action. If a friendly unit ends the action phase in the university space, increase the research level by 1. Well, sadly that is not possible. We cannot move there. Our hero is in the town center. We cannot go to the university. Civilians can only move 2 per turn. So now we got 3 actions, and well, she will move here, remove the chaos marker in the mine, and it goes down by 2. And the civilians will move here, and these civilians will actually move I think they will move here and try to regain control of this area. Okay. Yeah, I think this game is basically over. I think I've won that now. Let's see what's the next card. Hero arrives. Well, okay. That should be fine now. Take Sheriff Hunt. Leadership. Once per action phase, 1 friendly civilians or refugees unit only stacked with or adjacent to this hero may perform 1 free action. Long range in gunfire combat can target a Zeds unit 2 spaces away with -1 penalty. Martial arts in hand-to-hand combat you are allowed to re-roll, but must accept the second roll. And tough, for each hit scored on this hero, roll a die, and on a 4, 5 or 6 that hit is cancelled. So, here we go. Our great hero arrives. Sheriff shows up after every zombie is killed, and well, that is really an heroic act. We have 2 refugee movements, so basically they move here, 1, 2, and there is no outbreak. I don't think we have to consume supplies, although I'm not absolutely sure about that. No, we don't. No Zeds movement, of course. And then we got here 3 actions. So I think I will move with her back 1, 2, 3, 4 and give her a chance to remove the chaos markers in the forest track. Then the civilians here will move here, and I think they will move here to Ingeborg, and well, maybe it's a good idea let me see. So that was 1, 2, 3 actions. And I think this civilian guy here moves here to left his pass. And then in addition, because of the leadership, one of these guys can now do a forage action for free. So, and because of his ability, I can add 1 to the roll. That's a 3, great. Okay. So, that was that turn. Let's see what we got here. Flaming the Zeds. So, again, 1 refugee movement. So they go downtown now. No outbreak, no supplies to consume. Zeds would move in all tracks. But, well, that's not so interesting. And we got 2 actions. So, she moves now 1. She can ignore the town center because of the traffic control of Major Anandez. 2, 3, 4. So she ends up there. And I think he will move here into the mine. And, well, that was my second action, actually. And then well, I could try to find the antidote. Yeah, maybe I'll do this. So I will not move here, but I will move here into the laboratory instead of this space. I move into the laboratory. And so I had 2 actions now. I will try to do a research action. Let's see, I need a 6 to be successful here. Oh, sadly that doesn't count, but that does, great. So now I can place the final, or I can place the final component, yeah. So let's see where this will end up. In the forest. So this is then, which space is it? The farm. Okay, that's okay. So that will be here. And it says dot ammunition and spoiled supplies. Immediately lose 2 supply points and 1 ammunition point if available. No penalty if not available. Great. So we lose everything. Okay. And so we did now actually 2 actions, I think. And now we have 2 more actions left. No, that's it. 2 actions. Okay, fine. So let's draw this card. Soldiers of Fortune. Okay, we have 1 refugee movement. So now they go here. And I will not equip them right now. I place them here in the refugee camp. No outbreak. We have to consume supplies. That is not so good, but it's also not so terribly bad. We give 1 casualty to these civilians. Oh my god, it's pretty crowded here. And we have Zeds movement, but that doesn't apply. And here, during the action phase, all of your gunfire attacks receive +1 and consume no ammo points. At the end of the action phase, roll 1 die and lose that number of supply points. If you don't have enough, place 1 civilians unit on the map in the hospital. Okay, so, well, let's see. I think I don't care for supplies. I really want to do I really want to get these components actually. So what I do now is I will move with Sheriff Hunt. Well, no, that's not a good idea actually. Damn. Okay, why not? I will move with Sheriff Hunt. Will I? Or Major Hernandez? Yeah, it's Major Hernandez. He will move 4 spaces to the farm, restore order there, so the infection level goes up by 1 space. And that's basically his action. And I have to spend a movement action to pick this thing up. So I cannot do this in this turn because I can only spend 1 movement action per turn. Yeah. Okay, and then I try to gain some supplies. So first, Sheriff Hunt himself will do a forage action in the city. Oh no, wait a minute. Major Hernandez can do that. He can do this in the farm because chances in the farm are a little better. So let's see. And that's a 6. Very good. That gives me 2 supplies. That is great. And then one of the people with Sheriff Hunt can do a free forage action. And that's a 4. That is also good. It gives me an additional supply. And now it says roll 1 die and lose that number of supply points. Great. Okay, let's see what that is. Great, 4. Okay, so we lose all supply points, and in addition we have to take a civilian unit. So let's take this one and place it in the hospital. Okay, and now the last but one card. And that is fast Zeds. So, no outbreak. We have to consume supplies. We cannot do this. So now we have to place a casualties marker on one of our people. We can place that here. Zeds would move in the forest, which will not apply. And actions, if at the end of the action phase the farm space is Zeds controlled, well, no problem here. What I do is I can pick up this final component. That is my first action, and I have another action here. And I will try to find supplies. Again, Major Hernandez will do this. Rolls a 5. And this gives 1 supply at the farm. And then I'll do a free action. And that's a 1, so that is no success in this case. Yeah, okay. And now we come to the last card, and it is pretty obvious which one that will be. The National Guard arrives. Okay. It would have been one of the last 8 cards, but, well, it was the last one. Okay, let's see. If this card is the last card in the draw pile, the game is over and you have won. Yeah, I made it. If this is not the last card, draw a fate card to determine down which track the National Guard is approaching. Afterwards, roll 1 die. Add to its result the number of chaos markers and that unit on that track. Then apply the net result as follows. 1 to 4, it's about time. Stop play, the game is over. 5 or 6, what's keeping those guys? Place this card at the bottom of the draw pile and continue playing. 7 or 8, here they come again. Find a brains card in the discard pile and play it again as this turn's card. Shuffle this card back in the remaining draw pile cards and continue playing. 9 or more, the long, long nightmare. Take 4 random cards from the discard pile plus this card and shuffle all 5 cards back into the draw pile. Okay, so obviously if you draw this card and it's not the last card, and you have lots of Zeds units and chaos markers on the board, you still have a lot of problem. But because it was the last card, I have simply won this game. And actually I have to apologize a little bit because the last video, maybe the last 2 videos, were not so interesting anymore. The reason for that is simple because there were no zombies on the board, and a zombie game without zombies is probably boring. There are actually these special cards here. Let me see. It's of course the outbreaks. And then you got these cards like that. We can't kill them fast enough. And where are they all coming from? You gotta be kidding. All these cards. And they were all pretty much in the middle of the game. There are 4 of these cards. And you prepare the draw pile in a way that you split it into 2 halves. Basically. And you mix 2 cards in each half. Shuffle 2 cards in each half. And then, well, they should be not all in the same place. But in this case, they kind of were. They were pretty much all in the middle. So I had a very tough time during this stage of the game. Zombies were here in the suburbia, and there was there were I think 2 turns when I have drawn the wrong card, the game would be over. But after that there was not so much danger left, also because I had her with her bioengineering ability, so she could reduce the infection level every time she would remove a chaos marker. And that was a very, very good thing. So, yeah, I did it. Let's read the epilogue. Okay, and what happened is, super weapon invented, but no antidote found. If you won, it is a notable victory. When the National Guard arrives, they discover the people of Farmingdale have held their own against the undead. The survivors are all barricaded in the town center, but there remains a spirit of optimism because of the invention of a powerful superweapon against the Zeds, one that has contributed vitally to your survival. There is also evidence from the local laboratory that an antidote may be discovered, though this breakthrough has not yet been achieved. When the President of the United States hears of your achievement in both surviving and discovering a weapon, he honors your leadership and invites you to join the command team that plans further operations against the Zeds. If VIP survivors have been rescued, you discover they include a famous Hollywood star and director and a senator who is the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee. They are very grateful to you. As a consequence, the star wishes you to appear in his next major motion picture, and your name is seriously mentioned as a vice presidential candidate. Well, that sounds awesome. That is what I always wanted to be. America's vice president. Great! So, well, I saved the day, and perfect ending. Okay, so a few words about this game. I really enjoy it. it is very, very good. Although in this case, it was a little boring at the end. But if you see the whole game, it was actually really tense. It was very, very close. I got nearly killed. So I think after all, for me personally, it was a good feeling that in the end it all calmed down and I just had to manage the victory. That was quite satisfying actually. I was just relaxing to do that. Although it might not be very entertaining for you. I think it's a fast game, it's a tense game, and it is extremely thematic. I mean, all these action cards and all these cards that the event cards, the fate cards, and they really offer a lot of theme. I mean, there are so many things going on here. You have strikes from the army. You have, of course, lots of attacks of different zombies. You have explosions in laboratories. You have contaminated hospitals. You have VIP survivors. You have even raiders appearing and fighting with zombies. And well, there's so much going on there. And this is really something. You have explosive and I don't know. There is this, cars that you can use. You have public shooting. I mean, everybody loves public shootings, huh? And we have this radio station. So this is really great. I really enjoy that. You have the research part. So there are many options you have in this game. You have many decisions to make depending on what kind of heroes you have. You can focus on the fighting. You can focus on research. You can do lots of healing, and I love the barricades that you can barricade into these villages and just fight off the zombies wave after wave. That is just awesome. And I mean, you even have a nuclear meltdown. What a wonderful game is that. It's a little tough that you have that little ammo. Maybe it would be good to have a little more ammo. I think that would be okay. It would make things, of course, easier, but on the other hand, maybe a little more interesting. I don't know, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I don't know about that. The components are terrible. Gotta admit that. I mean, I already told that the problem here with these chaos markers, that they are two-sided and each side is different. So if you're looking for a kind of an exotic marker, like this tough marker, for example, or here the toxic marker, then you have to flip all the chaos markers, and even sometimes chaos markers which are already on the board, and you have to change them with other chaos markers. So that's quite a chaos, actually. That wasn't the best idea. But I think the components of the new edition are much better. Although I don't know that, but I've heard about that. The chits are okay, actually. I think they are fine. They are of a good quality. The map isn't. It's just a simple paper. A little thicker, of course. It's not just thin paper. But it's by far not a mounted board or so. So, well, okay. The artwork, I like the board. I think the board looks good. This dark area here, it's quite functional actually, and yeah, I think it looks okay. I like all the information that you can find on the board, all the tracks and the player aids here. This is all really well organized. Same here. I like this fighting table. I think the fighting in general is a very good idea. That's a clever system with the shifting of these columns, and I also like the idea that normally you take always casualties, except if you're completely if you're much stronger than the other player, then you don't. But if you're about the same strength, you take casualties during a fight, and I find that realistic. Normally, if you fight, roll a die, you win and the other player dies, or you lose and you die, or normally only one player takes damage. But I like the idea that both players can take damage during a fight. That's a pretty good idea. Got the sequence of play, which is also great. Here on the back side, you have optional rules, and they allow you to adjust the difficulty of the game. You have here pro player options, and down there you have wait a minute. Somewhere here you got the pro Zeds options. So yeah, that's also a pro of this game. A problem are the rules, I think. I don't know, for some reason I have a problem with the rules. This game is easy to underestimate. I mean, you think it doesn't have a lot of components and just a small map, which is not comes just with a few tracks, and that's basically it. But the game has actually a lot of rules and a lot of details, so it's not as easy as it might seem at the first time. So you got these rules here, and they only have 8 pages. But these pages are actually full of information. And I find it a little confusing with these different colors. I know they want to make it better, and I don't know. I mean, for me that doesn't really work. If you see these rules the first time, you have a really hard time reading them. And there is no clear optical structure. I mean, if you look at this page like that, it looks all the same. There are no big, there are no separations, really clear separations between the single parts of the rules. You got to go close, and then you can see here, okay, you got here villages and refugees, and these 3 columns, I don't know, this is all not really a great layout, I think. It's pretty confusing for me. And there is another thing I don't like. If you read these rules from the start to the end, you always ask yourself, what the heck is the goal of the game? And maybe I'm remembering this wrong. Maybe it's written here somewhere at the beginning, but I could not find that right now. And I don't like it. I mean, if I explain to someone what a game is about, or if I start to explain a game, the first thing I do is I try to explain the background story. So, okay, let's say we are here in Farmingdale, there are zombies everywhere, and we have to fight them. So that's basically the background story. It's not so complicated. And the next thing I explain is the goal of the game, and when we lose. So that's basically it. And if I know this from that perspective, it gets interesting to start reading the rules. But I hate it if you find at the very end of the rule book what the winning and losing conditions are. I don't like that. I think that is something, you can have that in detail at the end, that is fine. But you should know at the beginning what the goal of your game is. Otherwise you have a problem to get all the rules into the right context, in my opinion. And there is another critic here. I don't like the artwork of the cards. I mean, look at that. I think that is not really... To be honest, I think that looks cheap. I don't like that. But okay. I think it's not that... After all, this is one of these games where you can say the components are not that important. Here it's really the game, the experience is above the components, so the game is just great. It's so much fun, and I can live with the bad components and with the art, which I don't like that much. I think that's okay. Yeah. Try the new edition if you are interested in this one. I think it comes even with a mounted board and with probably new art. You have more heroes. I think you have even more cards, and I think also a tunnel or something. So there are many new options, and I can really recommend this. Great game, so give it a try, and well, I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Until then, bye.